Yo, what is up, guys? Shinobi here, back again with another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, back with another reaction. And apparently, the Concord devs are back, which is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. After wasting 400, was it $400 million on a failed, hero shooter? I'm surprised that these guys are even back at all to begin with. But they are back. And apparently they're not happy here. How much you want to bet? $50? They're gonna try and blame, I guess, the gamers for why their game failed, even though it's a free market. Or if your game was good, then people would have bought it. I don't know what to say, but either way, we're gonna be taking a look at this. It's just more fun shit to laugh at on the internet out here. For anybody wondering why my uploads have been slowing down, it's mostly because my wrist is. Bro, I'm not even gonna lie you, my wrist feels like absolute dog water right now. I don't know if it's my wrist, my hand. All I know is it feels bad. So, kind of taking a little bit of a step back from, my normal content, which would be, in this case, I guess, the Bleach Rebirth the Souls videos. I did a couple of Mugen videos, because obviously with those, there's a lot less, I guess, energy taking, and I don't gotta do as much versus with my usual gaming videos, but it is what it is. Arthritis, bruh, it sucks. Bruh, it sucks. That's all I can say, man. It really sucks. But either way, we're here to laugh at, dumb stuff on the internet. So here we are. And let's go ahead and get straight into this. Leave a like, leave a comment. We're trying to hit 5K subs before the end of the year. Hopefully we can get that done. And I'll leave a link down to Hero Hayes, channel below. Really great channel. I've been watching this dude for a minute. So let's get it.
Hope you've been having a great weekend, and you remember Concord, right?
One of the
biggest failures in gaming history.
Like, bro, I'm gonna be real. Whoever designed the characters in this game, straight up, like, these guys don't know what a color palette is. Like, bro. Like, when it comes to hero shooters, bro, they live or die based on the characters, man. They live or die based on characters. Also, like, why was this necessary? I'm gonna be real. Why was this necessary? It's a video game. We're here to shoot at people. We do not care about this, like, in the slightest. And when fashion, it really shouldn't bug you, but at the same time, I've played so many hero shooters that it's like, just seeing this bugs me for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, why do we got, I guess, pronouns in here for, like, no reason? Like, we're here to shoot at people, I guess. I don't know. It just bugs me. I don't know why. The real one that really bugs me is the trash can. There's like a trash can character in this game that's got pronouns. I don't know how the fuck that works. It's a trash can, but...
Yeah, that Concord. Well, the devs recently spoke out about what happened, and stuff like the beta, the public reception, that's going to be fun.
Bro, this game failed so hard, dude.
And as you might expect, they are still as out of touch as ever. A lot of them are trying to blame gamers and saying things like, people just didn't give us a chance. And so these statements come from devs that were on the Time Well Wasted podcast, I think it's called, where they had some of these devs on. Of course, they spoke about this stuff. So now we've got some quotes that have been...
Bro, that's crazy. So they made this game, I'm assuming... Let's see, I flew to Seattle and recorded interviews with 11 people with the studio engineers. Bro, I live in Washington. This is crazy, bro. This shit, the fact that this game was made in the state that I'm living in right now, like,
over on
that's crazy work, bro. I live in Washington, by the way, for anybody who hasn't figured that out by this point. Like, that's crazy. I mean, it doesn't actually surprise me, because obviously Halo was made here, with Microsoft and everything. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy, bro.
And I also got some quotes from the YouTube channel Mystic. So let's start with this quote, where one of the devs says, "The audience our publisher was catering to did not want this game at all."
See, here's the crazy part. The audience that you guys were trying to cater to, they weren't gonna buy this game in the first place. The audience you guys were catering to spends more time on Twitter rage baiting and complaining about shit than buying games. And I don't think people I don't know why people haven't figured this out yet. If you're out here trying to cater towards Twitter, your game is not going to sell. I know that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. It's the same reason why games like, once again, Hogwarts Legacy or others that had boycotts by those same Twitter people did really well, despite the fact that they were complaining about them. These people who complain on Twitter about, representation and shit, they don't buy games. There's a reason why your game failed. You spent $400 million on that shit and it flopped into the ground. Dustborn did the exact same thing. Star Wars Outlaws did it. Like, we literally just covered this when we was talking about the whole thing, like, where these people are still complaining about Hogwarts Legacy, and they're trying to complain about Hogwarts Legacy 2. It's like, bro, they are not going to cater these games to y'all, because they literally have watched 6 games as of right now, maybe 7 games, cater to these people on Twitter who be complaining all the time, but yet they don't buy games. These are keyboard warriors. Why are you surprised that they didn't actually buy this shit? I thought we already went over this. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But here we are, man. $400 million down the drain. That is crazy, dude. You know how much money you could, bro, you can, oh my God. I was about to say, you could do a lot of shit with $400 million, man. Holy, man.
From the get-go, the game was labeled as uncool. And then they lament how people just didn't give the game a chance.
They don't have to.
Yeah, but you haven't even looked
Bro, they don't have to. They don't have to play it. That's the crazy part. First impressions are everything. That's what the trailers are for. Now, obviously, you should have your own, I guess, opinion about the game. But you also got to take in mind that outside the fact that the characters were just trash and the game looked bad, you were out here trying to enter the hero shooter market where you got the Overwatches, the the Overwatches. You already had the Apex Legends. You had, there were Marvel Rivals. I don't even think Marvel Rivals was out at that point, but you get the point. There was already too many hero shooters out. And then not to mention, you made a hero shooter that was worth $40. $40, where the rest were free. You basically might as well just told people not to get your game in the first place. Like, you automatically cooked yourself. Like, we're not even talking about anything else. You guys automatically cooked yourselves the moment you made the game $40 when every other hero shooter out here is free. And they monetize their game through skins. Like, you already cooked yourself. And then you made it worse by making probably some of the worst character design, not even probably, the worst character designs in freaking hero shooter history. The only ones that could top that are probably, like, Suicide Squad, the Justice League, and that game's dead. Like, it was all around bad. It was already cooked. It was already cooked.
Into it. You haven't even played it. It's like, yeah, well, like, why would anyone want to play this modern audience garbage? Seems like they're also trying to put all
it was bad, bro.
On the publisher, and I just don't buy that because they say, like, the publisher forced us to make a game catering to this group of people, which seems to be implied to be about the modern audience because the game itself was clearly catering to the modern audience. And the reason I don't fully buy that this was, like, only the publisher is because we've already seen that a number of the devs that worked on Concord from Firewalk Studios, the game dev company, well, a lot of these devs were a part of the modern audience, or I should say are a part of the modern audience. So they probably loved Concord.
Yeah.
Now they're enacting this game.
The people who I guess they were catering this game towards, like the people who made this game, they probably loved this game. They probably loved this shit. But the problem is while they loved it, right? The people who they were catering to didn't care. The only thing they cared about was beating keyboard warriors. These people, once again, don't buy games. They are keyboard warriors. Their daily job is to wake up, get on Blue Sky or Twitter every day and just wake up and get mad about something. That is their daily life, is to wake up and get offended. These people don't buy games, and yet you catered toward them thinking they were going to buy games, and they didn't do that. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And what's even more funny is after the game flopped, I'm pretty sure it was one of the developers that was talking about how, I guess, some people, I guess, were like talentless, talentless something. I forgot the rest of the quote. But it was talking about some people being talentless, and it's like, bro, your game is dead. How are you going to be... Oh, yeah, that's what it was. He's like, they called them talentless freaks or losers or some shit. And it's like your game is dead, bro. 400 million down the drain. Y'all probably don't even got jobs right now. Who knows? But like, bro, how you gonna like that tweet did not age well, dude. It's crazy.
Damage control like a year later because they don't want this like blank spot on their resume or whatever. Like, let's try and kind of rewrite history, try to save some face here. We can see more of that in this quote where one of the devs says, I mean, it's certainly unpleasant. It was incredibly frustrating that we didn't do any counter programming. You know, that started immediately after the reveal of the game, and then it was just total radio silence. So a lot of false narratives around the game got built, and it was outside of our control. False narratives,
Bruh,
really.
I'm about to say, yeah, what
people
false narratives? There was nothing false narrative about the game. Like, people just looked at the gameplay, looked at the characters, and saw that it was ass. There was no false narratives. It was just straight ass. Like, at first glance, you like looking at the trailers and everything, it was like a ripoff Guardians of the Galaxy with just really terrible character design. And then you add in all the crap that people didn't even care about. And it was GG's, bro. Not to mention, once again, the biggest thing that shafted y'all guys is you made a hero shooter in 2024. Or no, 2025, my bad. It was destroyed this year, my bad. You made a hero shooter in 2025 that was worth $40. While everybody else, your competition, had hero shooters with better looking characters, and their games were free. Free. And the skins were the only thing monetized. Come on now, bro. Like, what are we doing?
People talked about the factual stuff that was going on in Concord. No one needed to like make up a false narrative. The game was awful for a lot of reasons that have been greatly discussed. Here's what they say about the beta. We were excited locally in the studio, but the public had no idea what it was at first. I thought people were just harsh during the reveal trailer. I was like, you know
First
what?
impressions
There's
are
things we
everything,
need to
dude.
work on, but it's okay. Once people touch the game, it's going to change things.
I doubt it, bro. First impressions are everything. And usually, once again, like, that's why people put so much emphasis on trailers and whatnot. For the most part, is like, bro, first impressions, especially in the game design like in game design or just in general, it's everything, dude. Especially now when people don't have that kind of money to spend and people already have a hero shooter, most likely that they're already playing. Like, you came into the hero shooter market when people already had their their hero shooter that they were already playing. And then to make things worse, you made your game $40, making it to where people would have to buy your game just to play it. And it's an only online game, I might add. And then to make things worse, you did nothing to differentiate yourself from the competition. Like, you not only came late to the trend, because the hero shooter trend mostly started up in 2020, and that's when everybody tried to basically make the next Fortnite. But then you came in thinking that you was going to make a game that was costing $40 with garbage hero design. Looked like a ripoff of freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. And then to make things worse is once people got to see the game and then started cooking it, then you want to basically try to roast the fan base that was playing the game. What? Jesus Christ, dude. Come on.
And then the beta numbers dropped, and numbers were not what we were expecting. And I think our mindset started shifting to things could go really bad.
I would imagine.
Dude, if I recall, the beta had like what, a
12 people.
Around 1,400.
It's like 1,400
off memory. I'm gonna check.
It's like 1,200.
Okay, so it's actually 2,388.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I think it was. I was about to say in my head. I thought it was like 1,200 to like maybe 2,000 players at best, and that was the beta.
Almost 2,400, which is obviously still beyond terrible.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Talking about the beta,
for a $400 million game, that's really bad, dude. This game, according to Sony, was supposed to be like the next Halo. Like, this was supposed to be their Halo of this generation. Like, this was supposed to be... Like, they had apparently movies planned out. They had live streams planned out. They had so much stuff planned out for this game. And when it came out, it all just went down the shitter. $400 million cooked, dude. Gone. Burned up, basically. You might as well have taken that money and thrown it into the fireplace.
It made news for how poorly the beta did. Like, people would go out to news sites to, like, hear about our game and how negatively it was doing instead of, like, hearing what the game was about. People heard about our game because of how poorly it did, but people didn't hear about what the game was or even really tried. Right,
we all knew what the game was. It was basically another rip-off hero shooter that you had to pay $40 for with garbage character design, and it looked like a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. People didn't need to hear about what the game was. They just needed to look at it. And it was clear they just needed to look at the character designs. There are literally plethoras of videos talking about how trash this game's character design is. There are literally people out there who even talk about, could you even save the character design for these characters? Like, straight up. I think there's a video out there that's literally been made where somebody literally takes the Concord cast and tries to fix the garbage, designs that they got, bro. It's that bad.
There was no shortage of news articles and YouTube videos and hate on the internet about how poor the numbers were, so it was pretty apparent. You gotta be kidding me. They're really trying to say that people didn't really know what the game was. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Dude,
everybody knew.
The cope is just crazy. From there, they talk about the reception. The most frustrating part about it to me was people had made up their mind about the game, and I felt like it was based off, I mean, this is more our fault than theirs, but we did a bad job of communicating what we were trying to do, and I felt like there was such a disconnect. Like, if I could sit down with any individual that said something bad about the game and plead our case, I could convince them 100% to be on board with the game.
No, you couldn't. If one of these devs was just trying to sit down specifically with me and try and convince me to spend $40 on a hero shooter that I might add has garbage character design, bro, there's nothing you can do to freaking convince me to play that game. Automatically, especially in this economy, the $40 entry, once again, the $40 entry just to even play this game is throwing me off when I can play a hero shooter for free already. Like, once again, I can hop on my PS5 right now and download Marvel Rivals. I can download Overwatch. I could download any hero shooter I want right now and play that shit for free. So already the barrier to entry is there. That's already turning people off. But then you make things 10 times worse by having some of the worst character designs on the fucking planets. Dude, like, what are we talking about? There is no shot that you could sit down with anybody and make them play this game. Let alone spend $40 on it. Like, I would say I'd feel bad for anybody who bought the game, but at the same time, people got refunds. So, hey, at least that happened. But then again, that's Sony. So, they had to give the refunds for that game. This game was probably a giant-ass tax write-off, if I'm being real with you, but it was bad. This shit was bad. Just we did it, and in the last paragraph it says it just, we did a terrible job of appealing to the mass of gamers, and it didn't go too well. Yeah, I bet. Shit, I would bet. Because y'all weren't appealing to gamers in the first place, if we're being real with you. You were appealing to Twitter warriors on their keyboards who don't buy games. Like, let's get this thing straight. Y'all weren't appealing to gamers to be, in the first place. In fact, you guys, around that time period, when this game came out, a lot of AAA studios, were really busy trying to pander to Twitter. And it didn't, once again, 6 failed games, man. Concord, Dustborn, Dragon Age the Failguard, fucking, what was it? Avowed. What else? Shit. What was it? What was it? Fucking Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, the list just keeps going on. And I think it was around that point in time when, once again, then you had, like, I guess Asian devs coming out of nowhere with games like Black with Wukong. Then you had the Koreans coming out of nowhere with Stellar Blade. And those games were kicking ass. And then you had the indie games going crazy. It was like any game that tried to basically pander towards Twitter users, it failed. That shit failed, bro. And now we live in a day and age where they're not even trying to do that no more. A lot of games these days have stopped trying to pander towards people who don't buy games and just spend more time playing on Twitter or Blue Sky, I guess, in this case, than anything. It's a crazy concept, but at the same time, they want to make money, and a lot of people, including these dudes, lost their jobs because they made a game that nobody wanted. And that's all it comes down to, is the game that you're coming out with, is the people that you're trying to make this game for going to buy the shit. Because that's, at the end of the day, you can take out all the other crap and just go down to the bare bones and think about this one statement, and that should be, are people going to buy this? Because at the end of the day, the free market is what gets to decide this. The free market is what gets to decide this game, or whatever game comes out does well. Not Twitter.
It's just, we did a terrible job of appealing to the mass of gamers, and it didn't go too well. I guess I'll give this statement a little bit of credit for having like a tiny shred of accountability, at least compared to the other stuff that these devs were saying. But this is still very delusional because bro is really trying to make it sound like the only issue with Concord was the communication. Like, we just didn't explain this well enough. No, dude, there were a lot of problems with the game, as I mentioned a moment ago. I'm just not going to list all the problems with the game because, like, we've covered that extensively, and so many people have done a great job covering that extensively already and talking about that stuff, so it seems far too redundant to just repeat all of that here. I'm sure everyone watching this video probably knows the numerous issues with Concord, so let's just keep going to the next statement, and this one returns to the very whiny style that we've been seeing. It's just weird that there is this audience who's just constantly wanting to be excited that something fails. But the reality behind it is, we're just looking at our keyboards and then we're like, oh, no job today.
Hey, well then, hey, you should have made a better game, bro. You're not in, like, what is it with people like this thinking they're entitled to people buying their game? Like, if we take out the culture war shit, let's be real, the game is still bad. Like, imagine if the culture war crap that was going around, that was surrounding this game, didn't exist, right? The game still would not have sold any copies, bruh. The game was still gonna do bad. Because despite the whole nonsense with people complaining about pronouns or people complaining about, all this other crap that was surrounding gaming around that time period, at the end of the day, the game was bad. The game was just bad. It's as simple as that. And the free market took a look at that game and said, we ain't buying it. Like, you guys, once again, I don't know how many times I gotta say this, you guys shot yourselves in the foot making this game $40 in the first place. It should have been free from the jump. Like every other hero shooter. Then you might have had a chance, at least. Because at least the barrier to entry wouldn't be there. But the fact that you tried to make this game $40, then have garbage character design on top of that, and then for all the culture war people out there, the whole pronoun shit, which even for me, that kind of throws me off, because why? It's like, what are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Like, hero shooters, like, they live and die by their characters, and your characters were just bad. Your gameplay was, I guess, it was alright. As far as gameplay was concerned, from what I heard of the game, it wasn't terrible, but it was just everything else. It's like you had one good thing, which was the gameplay, and then everything else was just bad. It was just bad, dude.
There's like a schadenfreude of, I don't think I said that right, whatever. Oh, big game fails, and like, that's awesome. We got to see something crash and burn, and like, that's kind of great. That's really cool. And to be a part of that process, it's really easy to bandwagon on that. Like, well, we're punching up, and not really take into consideration that, like, well, you're punching up at that, but then all these people that work really hard on it are not those people. Well, just because people worked on the game, obviously, doesn't mean that they're free from criticism.
Exactly.
If you make a bad product, people are allowed to talk about that.
I'm about to say, bro, if you make a bad product, people are not, people have a right not to buy the shit. Straight up. People are allowed to talk about or criticize games that aren't good. Like, I don't know what world these devs live in that, people are not allowed to criticize the games they make, but that's not the world we live in.
It doesn't mean they're limited to only talking about the product itself. People are allowed to talk about the team that developed said product and ways that they could have done better and things that they did wrong. Here's what the devs have to say about working at Firewalk. I know I felt like I would run into battle and die for the company that day. I was ecstatic.
You know what's crazy is the company wouldn't run into battle and die for you. Never, they would not, and that's why y'all got fired the same time that this game died. This game lasted 2 weeks before they had to take it off the stores and all that shit. That same company that you would run into in battle and die for, I'm sorry, they wouldn't do the same for yourself. They would not do the same for you. And the crazy thing is, a lot of companies, because it was the popular thing to do, were pandering towards, I guess the modern audience, or I guess the people complaining about shit on Twitter or Blue Sky, because it was the cool thing to do. It was what made them money. But the moment it started making them lose money, I mean, you've seen it now. They don't do that no more. They ain't doing that no more. The pandering and all that shit's gone because it ain't making them money. These companies do not care. If it ain't making them money, they do not give a crap. As for running and dying to battle for the company, bro, these guys don't care. These Sony executives, these shareholders, they do not care. The only thing that they care about is this game making me money? That's just in general for any company, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. You should never be loyal to a company. Never. Because they will not be loyal to you. That was a dumb idea. Like, imagine how disappointed this person felt. You know, talking about running and dying in battle for this company. And the company kind of just looked at them after their game fails like, we'll just put it as a tax write-off and fire you. Like, come on now.
When the teaser was revealed, I miss it immensely. All this interviewing and talking to other companies, I want to bring my whole old team there. They always ask me, why did I like working at the studio so much? And it was like, I really just enjoyed the team, the people. That's what I miss. People were kind to each other. If someone had a bad day, people would be super supportive and be like, go ahead, take the time. If you're not feeling good, just go home. This is the first studio where I felt equal and treated right. Not only is everyone super talented, but also everyone was respectful and nice. It's a green flag when I can go into the women's bathroom and it's not only filled with feminine hygiene products, but also there's women there. And it's like,
I just want to take a minute I just want to take a minute. Can we get a moment of silence for that stupidity that we just heard right there? Like, this is some grass is green take, bro. This what are we? Oh, it's a green flag when I go outside and you know it's raining outside and water is fucking wet. Like, oh my god, dude, what the hell? Oh my god, dude, that is so stupid. That's bro. Let me read the rest of this. This is a green flag when I go into the women's restroom, and it's not only filled with feminine hygiene products, but there's a woman. But I can't believe he said that. Whoever the hell said this, you're dumb as a box of rocks. And then the next statement talk about and it's like, oh, I have to share a bathroom with other women now. Like, who else is supposed to be in the bathroom? Yo! Bro, this is a whole new level of what in the world, dude?
like, oh, I have to share a bathroom with other women now? Like, whoa, that's odd because you usually get the whole place to yourself.
Yo,
you
what?
know what's really funny is how shortly after Concord released, and we were in the news cycle of its massive failure, there were some people coming out saying that the Concord devs, you know, Firewalk overall, that they have this culture of toxic positivity. Some sources I've spoken with blamed a head in the sand mentality carried over from the studio's Bungie roots. A sense the game would come together because the team was too good to fail. It seems like we're seeing more of that attitude displayed in the statement that we just read. We've got...
I'm gonna be real. The Bungie team that made... Because everybody likes to talk about Bungie and how famous they are and how good they are because of how they made Halo 1, 2, 3, and Halo Reach. But I'm gonna be real. At the end of the day, when it comes to studios, it's the people that make the studio, not the studio that makes the people. The people that made Halo 1, 2, and 3 and Halo Reach are not the same people who are making these games now. The Bungie that you guys know now compared to the Bungie that I knew back when I was a kid, it's not the same thing. Like, the Bungie we know of now is pretty much a shell of its former self. They are not making the kind of quality games that they were making back in the early 2000s anymore. They don't got that kind of people on the team right now. I'm sure that there's probably some good people out there making games, whatever like that, as far as Bungie's concerned, but that's... The people who made Halo are, you know, like the first 4 games, those are not the same people who are making your games now.
One last statement to take a look at here, and it's pretty funny. Something else funny, too, is how the user on Reset Era that posted these quotes went on to say about all of this. From all public accounts, it sounds like Firewalk was an incredible studio to work at, full of highly talented people, but marketing and management completely screwed it over. This team absolutely did not deserve to be treated the way they were. I really hope people listen to it. One last quote that I loved hearing.
See, here's the crazy part. Is there was plenty of marketing for this game. Management, I don't know. I don't know about the management. The marketing, as far as, this game being marketed was concerned, the marketing, as far as them getting the word out for this game, was not a problem. In fact, there was the marketing, and it was the marketing that allowed a lot of people to even know that this game even existed. Now, management, I don't know, but at the end of the day, the marketing wasn't the problem. The problem was just the game itself.
Shows how passionate this team was about the game they made. And we can see that quote right here. Travis from the art team responding to Ashley, who says, "Do you want people to know you worked on it?" And Travis says, "Yeah, and I want them to be surprised when I'm happy about it. That's what I want. We were proud, regardless of how it went. We put out a good game." I mean, this is truly astonishing. From the dev trying to act like they put out a good game here, just not even acting like it, saying that they put out a good game, which is just...
It's crazy work, dude. Yeah, you put out a good game, alright. The game was so good that it died in 2 weeks. The shit didn't last longer than a housefly's lifespan, bro. You put out a good game, though. Oh my god, dude. The delusion is crazy.
Crazy take, and shows that these people have no accountability, and they just don't seem like they'll ever grow as people. To the Reset Era user who's actually like buying into this nonsense and acting like, yeah, these people are so talented. They're so hardworking and talented. And they're trying to put all the blame on like marketing and management. What a freaking joke. No accountability from any of these people. And this is to be expected from all of these modern audience types. Just very, very typical. Something funny though is one of the comments on the first page of that thread says, "When you mess things up and blame marketing and management teams."
Facts.
And that person actually got a warning from the moderators.
Facts,
Probably one
man.
of the only comments in that entire thread that's actually talking sense. And
the only comment during this whole video and that whole statement that made sense, man. Jesus Christ. Like, it's okay to say that you screwed up, bro. Like, as crazy as that sounds in this day and age, it's okay to say that you made a mistake. It's okay to say that, maybe your first game that you ever made or that game that you made wasn't a good game. What's important is that you take a look at the mistakes that you made making that game and don't make them same mistakes again. But hey, I don't think we can expect that from these people, man. Holy.
Mods warn them. Of course, that is also typical. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my coverage. I had fun making this video, despite how pathetic these statements were.
I'm surprised that these guys...
funny to take a look at, so...
I'm surprised that these guys even bothered to try and make an interview for this game, because nothing that they were going to say is going to make people not look at the game any different. That's the crazy thing. Like, despite, all the stupid culture war shit that was surrounding this game or anything for that period of time, the main thing that really cooked this game is 3 things. The barrier to entry, the fact that the character designs look like straight ass, and then most importantly, I wouldn't even say this is most importantly, because honestly, it's a combination of the 3, but like, then you got on top of that, you're making a hero shooter when there's already a bunch of hero shooters out there that are your competition, and you didn't give anybody a reason to play yours. Because at the end of the day, when you released your game, it was about, like, there was already a million different hero shooters out. And for anybody who doesn't know, Concord was made, it was like 8 years or some shit like that. Like, when the game was made, like, they talked about how it took 8 years for them to make that game. Which is crazy. It's like, bro, you guys made that game back when Overwatch 1 came out. By the time you guys came out with your game, the whole hype for the, hero shooter or just the shooter genre in general already died down. There's already so many out there. And then you make a game that not only, is in a really saturated genre, but then you make a game that you are forcing your consumers to try and pay money for. And then on top of that, the design just looks bad, dude. like once again, and the reason I talk about the design so bad when it comes to this game is because once again, your shooters, especially hero shooters, they live or die by their characters, dude. When people see these hero shooters, they want to be looking at these hero shooters, and these people want to be looking at them and think, when I'm in this game, that's me. You know, this is who I am. This is a character that I want to cosplay or something like that. You know, this is a character that, you know, I want to, you know, I think I'm this character whenever I play this game. Like, nobody thought that when they were playing this game or when they were playing these characters, dude. Nobody. And for the few people who did buy the game, it's like, you know, once again, they got their refunds, so whatever, but yeah. I don't know, man. Trying to blame, because at the end of the day, this whole entire thing is them just trying to blame gamers for why their game failed. It's like, bro, blaming anybody but yourself for the reason why your game failed has got to be the most dumb thing to do in the year of 2025. Especially considering that you had $400 million to work on this damn game. Like, that's the most important shit. Y'all have $400 million to make this damn game. And all I gotta ask is, where the hell did that $400 million go, bro? Because it clearly didn't go all into the game. But hey, it is what it is, man. Future game developers will be using this as an example of what not to do when making a hero shooter in the future. That's like the most benefit that this game gave us. Is in the future, they will look at this game and be like, this is what we will not do, bro. This game is going down in the history books as easily the biggest fail in gaming history. $400 million down the shitter, bro. But without further ado, that's going to be it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.